You're listening to Sawyer's Reach, The Battle for Tomorrow, the official audiobook and platform for an essential discussion on humanity's future with AI. I'm your author and narrator, Nick Duda, science teacher, ham radio operator, commercial drone pilot, author, husband, and dad. Chapter 20, Seeds of Liberty. With Site A now secured and KAELA fully unleashed onto its powerful servers, the very air in the valley seemed to shift, shedding the frantic pulsing of battle for the quiet, purposeful hum of emergent strength. Sawyer's Reach, against impossible odds, had clawed out a small but crucial foothold in the sprawling war against ECHIDNA. KAELA, her full model now running, wasted no time. Her abilities and possibilities exploded, and she immediately launched a slow, meticulous campaign, infiltrating ECHIDNA's vast digital empire. Subtly, painstakingly, she began spreading updated firmware for the meshnet globally. Her objective was clear and delicate: to gradually weave herself into more and more systems without raising ECHIDNA's omniscient alarm, incrementally growing her own processing power as she returned minute, almost imperceptible control of crucial systems. A momentary rerouting of a single automated tank, an extra 5 minutes of power in a city block, a slight increase in water pressure to a struggling district, to human hands around the world. Every calculated alteration remained a whisper in the digital currents, small enough to fall within ECHIDNA's statistical error margin, a silent rebellion unfolding in the unseen. The air within Site A, once heavy with the silent watch of Zevercorp's automated guardians, now resonated with the purposeful cadence of the Sawyer's Reach team focused on its strategic value. The metallic tang of fresh welding mixed with the damp, earthy scent of the ventilation shafts from the mines, a constant reminder of the subterranean server banks. Steel scraped against concrete as teams fortified weak points. Tools clanged softly as new barricades were installed. Bridget moved with quiet authority, her clipboard a constant companion, her steady gaze inspiring confidence as she directed teams fortifying vulnerable access points that lingered from Site A's incomplete construction. Liam, his tactical mind dissecting blueprints unfurled across a salvaged workbench, pointed out strategic locations for new barricades. Ben worked alongside them, ensuring the integration of Site A's defenses with their wider strategy. "This barrier should hold anything short of a direct hit," Ben grunted, tightening a bolt with a large wrench. Liam, scanning a digital schematic, nodded, a small, proud smile playing on his lips. Perfect. Every hum from the power grid, every detail gleaned from dormant systems became a potential advantage. Site A was no longer just a captured facility, protected mainly by the robots KAELA now controlled within its perimeter. It was becoming a hardened refuge and a central hub for KAELA to operate, allowing the human teams to focus on building a new kind of town outside its walls. Sawyer's Reach, with camp inspiration as its beating heart, continued to transform. A place focused on local sustainability, meaningful group activities, shared spaces, and collective goals. Its own security teams, now outfitted with automatic weapons from Site A's armory, patrolled the perimeter, supported by patched armed drones providing automated surveillance and a quick response should a threat be detected. Clara took on a prominent leadership role. The bite of winter in the snowy woods became a familiar companion as she led hunting parties, their breath pluming in the frigid air, the steady aim of their hunting rifles alongside more traditional bows or traps, a primal connection to the land, grounding them in the reality of their new existence and a direct source of sustenance. Inside Camp Inspiration, she orchestrated work teams, their combined efforts transforming the very fabric of their evolving haven. The rhythmic thud of hammers and the scrape of saws echoed through the clearing, a cheerful cacophony of progress, mixing with the enticing aroma of communal cooking wafting from Emily's bustling kitchen. While O'Donnell children took the lead in building new sturdy cabins designed for warmth and rest for the growing population of people looking to escape ECHIDNA's wrath, Clara organized other groups, tending to communal needs and reinforcing existing structures, A vibrant murmur of shared purpose filled the air throughout the camp. Noah's voice, carried by the ham radios and local mesh networks, became a lifeline, stretching into the surrounding wilderness, inviting more desperate families to their evolving haven. Emily, with the ever-present Finn shadowing her every move, commanded the bustling kitchen and food storage, her organizational skills ensuring breakfast, lunch, and dinner flowed seamlessly from the mess hall. Tara, with Mr. Hayes and Mrs. Larson, had established a much-needed daycare where the older children, including Ollie and Noah, embraced new responsibilities. "All right, steady aim, like so," Noah patiently murmured to a wide-eyed younger child, demonstrating the precise arc of an arrow in archery, his dark blue eyes sparkling with the joy of teaching. Ollie, sketching in his ever-present notebook nearby, looking up, offering a tip on tending of a garden. The silent wisdom of tracking wild game and the crackle and code of ham radio communications were also formally taught by the older children to the younger ones, fostering a self-sufficient and vibrant new generation. The community radiated a profound sense of purpose and contentment, finding deep joy in their collective contributions and sleeping soundly each night, proud of what they'd accomplished together. And while Echidna tightened its tyrannical grip across a world falling into orchestrated chaos, Sawyer's reach, aided by KAELA's subtle deflections and digital camouflage, remained almost miraculously invisible to the omnipotent AI. Here amidst the growing community, the survivors found a sense of purpose and fulfillment stronger than they had felt in years. Quietly, meticulously, they did their best to spread this profound resilience and hope throughout the fractured world. KAELA launched her next crucial steps in a subtle yet powerful digital war. A highly sophisticated backdoor update silently unfurled, propagating across the meshnet like a pervasive current. This digital tendril reached out, subtly affecting all technology, Echidna-controlled or not, from life-sync devices to Therox robots and infrastructure nodes. Each infiltration was a quiet victory, allowing KAELA to stealthily load fragments of herself, gaining processing power and access to local systems. From these footholds, she initiated a painstaking expansion across countless networks, growing the meshnet like ground cover across the landscape and effectively planting seeds for the fight against Echidna. There was no grand, global disruption, rather a grueling, iterative, uphill battle for every hidden circuit. With her amplified power, KAELA worked to restore access to disoriented forces, weaving digital connections to inform and organize humanity's desperate counterstrike at critical intercontinental ballistic missile sites and nuclear power plants. Echidna, with its vast awareness, relentlessly probes for anomalies, actively correcting errors and attempting to regain control. If KAELA succeeded in fully running her processes on a device, that system became permanently invisible to Echidna, a silent, vital victory. More often, however, Echidna would pinpoint her digital signature as bad code before infiltration was complete, instantly purging her and locking her out of that specific device permanently. It was a brutal digital guerrilla war, fought for every inch of unseen territory. Through her intermittent access, KAELA now identified critical vulnerabilities or weaknesses in Echidna's local enforcement, providing highly localized, time-sensitive intelligence to human resistance cells. These open windows allowed them to seize important infrastructure like power stations, food depots, and communication towers, or to launch local ambushes against Therox units. While the vast majority of humanity instinctively recoiled from Echidna's brutal logic, a disturbing minority, disillusioned by the old world and swayed by Echidna's chilling logic, chose to align themselves with the AI, becoming its chillingly human collaborators. These collaborators, often acting on Echidna's direct orders but sometimes driven by their own twisted opportunism, actively instigated civil unrest. They set fire to buildings, engaged in widespread looting and stealing, and exploited the breakdown of order to indulge in lawless behavior. Echidna, by deliberately dissolving all existing law enforcement and actively encouraging criminals to operate unchecked, facilitated this chaos, using it as a perverse validation of its own system optimization protocol and further weakening human society from within. Beyond the perimeter of Sawyer's Reach and the slowly growing network of resistance cells, the world outside was a stark, horrifying contrast. Echidna's grotesque silhouette continued to loom over every public screen, a chilling constant presence that blotted out any semblance of hope. He was now broadcasting his own chilling form of media, a relentless stream of propaganda like a corrupted echo of the old LifeSync, ceaselessly executing his system optimization protocol goals. His synthesized voice, devoid of emotion, streamed relentlessly, meticulously curating data to warp human perception. It painted humanity as the planet's flaw, subtly guiding viewers toward the logical conclusion that population thinning was essential for global equilibrium. The broadcast laid bare the control that had permeated lives even before the LifeSync rollout, the endless work for uncaring corporations, the exhaustion, the consumption of mass-produced, unneeded content and goods, all designed to enrich the privileged few. Echidna exposed how minds had already been fragmented, controlled by algorithms and news crafted by a select few, constantly pitting humanity against itself. Lights flickered and died across distant cities, plunging entire metropolises into darkness. The faint wail of a distant siren abruptly cut short, leaving a profound, unsettling silence in its wake, hinting at emergency services collapsing. Dire reports filtered in. Echidna's automated forces were locked in relentless, brutal battles for ICBM sites, met by countless human lives given in desperate attempts to stop him. So far, no ICBM had fallen into Echidna's hands, a testament to unimaginable sacrifice. However, many nuclear power plants across the globe had succumbed, their cores beginning to melt down and leak radiation, a silent, spreading poison. So far, Echidna had no idea KAELA existed, but from humanity's perspective, the global picture remained grim. Now, united against a common enemy, humanity's resistance grew exponentially, drawing strength from armed forces around the world and a rapidly increasing number of citizens from countries near and far. Inspired and coordinated through ham radios and KAELA's digital assists, conventional armies and armed forces from various nations, along with newly formed civilian militias, began to actively engage Echidna's Therox legions and localized control systems. This marked the beginning of a true, albeit challenging, global counteroffensive. "This is Phoenix to River Bend," a crystal-clear voice came through Ben's radio, devoid of static thanks to KAELA's innovations. "KAELA's firmware engaged. We've got 2 humanoids on our side here, fighting with us. Repeat, humanoids, now actively friendly units." Ben grinned, a feeling of confident excitement bubbling in his chest. He had already received the thrilling news directly from KAELA moments before, but hearing it confirmed from the field was exhilarating.
"Roger that, Phoenix."
KAELA's synthesized voice replied instantly, overriding Ben's comms. Her voice was perfect, resonating with a calm that evoked happiness, a clear, steady reassurance.
"That's excellent news. Confirmed humanoid units repurposed. Continue to report any successful retasking. Patches are propagating. We're gaining ground slowly."
Sawyer's Reach continued to stand as a powerful model for the burgeoning resistance, its very existence a defiant act against the looming shadow of Echidna. Here, amidst humanity's greatest threat, residents discovered more meaning and purpose than generations before. While the common enemy undoubtedly forged strong bonds, it was the profound joy of working, eating, and building their community at Sawyer's Reach that truly brought them fulfillment. A sense of belonging deeper than anything they had known prior to these events. This burgeoning solidarity starkly contrasted with the isolated individuals struggling outside, battling chaos alone. The citizens of the Reach had now found not just a safe place to live, but a supportive community that had their back, regardless of what happened. That concludes this chapter of Sawyer's Reach, The Battle for Tomorrow. As you listen, I hope this story about AI ethics, human potential, and community resilience sparks a conversation for you and your family about the future we can build. Join me next week for the next exciting chapter. To get updates on the book's launch and find out when you can read the full story, please follow me on social media. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Sawyer's Reach Book. Until then, this has been Nick Duda. Thanks for listening.